Alright, in this video, we're going to pick up with part 2 of the Unsplash wallpaper gallery. If you'd like to stay up to date with my custom tutorials, and if you have not already, please consider subscribing and also checking out all of my tutorials over at www.bcraftmath.com/KLWP. Before watching this tutorial, check out the preview video I did a while back as well as video number 1. We built most of the globals, and now we're going to start actually building our gallery. Now we'll be making some changes to this as time goes on, but for now let's start with an overlap group. And this overlap group is going to contain the thumbnails and the arrows for our first topic in our list global. I'm going to give this overlap group a name and I'm just going to call it 0. 0 for the topic 0. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to roll with that. Inside of that overlap group, let's go ahead and add a stack group. And we'll go inside of this stack group and we're going to add a square. And for this square, I'm going to make it 120 by 120. This will allow me to fit 5 squares up here with a little bit of space in between them. Plus, I think the size of this square will be plenty good for you to see the thumbnail before applying it to your wallpaper. Let's head over to FX, and for the texture, we're going to set this to bitmap. And for our image, let's go to a code, and for that code, we're actually going to use thumb 0. So what is this thumb 0? From part 1, we talked about using the source.unsplash.com to actually get the image so that we can specify a particular size. I did pick 120 by 120 in part 1, and this is the ID. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think business and work was our topic 0. And just to verify that, I'm going to click on this first image and check out that ID right there. That matches that one perfectly. If I check on this now, give it a second to load, it's probably going to load this thumbnail, as you can see. Perfect. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to back out of here. I'm inside of the stack group, and I'm going to copy and paste this 5 times. So copy in that square. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of those squares. They're all the same, I know, but we're about to fix that right here in a second. For the layer, let's do horizontally centered, and let's put a little margin in between them. Now, back in part 1, I mentioned something about us changing a little bit of our code. Check this out. Let's go back to our globals. And the global that I want to change here is going to be this ID. Now, back in part 1, I talked about this 0, how we want this to change dynamically. Like if I come in here and change this to a 1, it's going to pull a different ID. As a matter of fact, that's going to be the second image here, looking at its ID, XYJ, yes, perfect. So we want this to change dynamically. And one way we can do that, we're going to make a couple of changes here, but let's just start with SI module index. Now you may say, okay, well nothing really changed. It's all right. Let's check on this and look at what's happening here. It's actually coming in here and updating these thumbnails. Now why is it doing this and why did it not do that before? Well, first of all, the reason why it didn't do it before, for this ID, we had it hard-coded as 0. So it was always going to return the 0 index, this first image here. By us using SI module index, it's actually looking at where that square is inside of that stack group. Now I do have a complete video on that, but here's a quick recap. Let's head over to our items inside of our stack group. And notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 squares. The index of these squares, the first square has an index of 0, then we have a 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that SI module index, that code that we've put in there now, depending on where this square is in our group, if it's the first square, it has an index of 0. So it's going to return a 0, that first image, etc., all the way up to this 4. So it appears the order that it's going in is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That's what I'm seeing here with these thumbnails. Now what do we want to do with this? Well, we want to create another row. But to do that, I'm actually going to create another stack group first. I'm going to take the stack group with our thumbnails. I'm going to cut and open up the new stack group that I created, and I'm going to paste it in there. Nothing changed, but I'm putting a stack group inside of a stack group. So now, if I take this stack group here, I'm getting ready to copy and paste it. So copy, paste, and since I have these stack groups inside of a stack group, we can vertically center these, and we can put a little margin in between them. Now we have a problem. We don't have the new images loading up, do we? So this is where we're going to go back and change that ID just a little bit more. Let's go over to globals. Let's go to ID 0, and let's think about what we have to do here. We have 5 images per row. So those first 5 images have an index of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But then we have another stat group beneath that, and really what we want that to be, that next one, actually let me just back out of here and show you this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then we want 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's what we want. So sure, each square has its own index inside of a stat group that it sits inside of. But remember, we have 3 stat groups sitting inside of a stat group as well, and that's how we were able to get these rows. So what we actually want to do here, I'm going to come back to my items. I know I just got out of there a second ago, but I'm going to come into that stat group, and if we look at, this one right here, the 3rd row, and if I want to get this one to work correctly, this would have an index of 14. Remember, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, what we want to do here is this. This entire stat group is the 3rd item. Let's check it out. This stat group is the 3rd item inside of here. This index of this stat group is 2. If we take that index of 2 and multiply it by 5, the reason why I'm multiplying it by 5 is because we have 5 pictures per row. Well, 2 times 5 gives us 10, and then if we add on the index of that particular square, well, what index would this square have here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. So we want the index of this stat group, which is 2, times 5 images per row, that's 10, plus the index of this square inside of the stat group, which is 4. 10 plus 4 gives us 14. All right, so what does that code look like? If I go back to globals, come down to ID, and all we have to do is look at 2 different module indexes. This one here is fine, but we want to take 5 and we want to multiply it by the module index of its parent's parent. That's going to be SI module index, comma 1. And then we want to add on the index of that particular square in the stat group. This is giving us the index of the square in the stat group. This SI module index, comma 1 is giving us the index of one of those 3 stat groups that make up our rows. So just a moment ago, I gave you an example with that 3rd stat group. Its index was 2 times 5 gives us 10. And that last square has an index of 4. 10 plus 4 gives us 14. Let's check on this. And now we should start to see some new images loading up. Now this is fairly quick too because of the resolution of our thumbnail, the 120 by 120. Now I did mention this in part 1. We're going to have to create more globals. For every how many topics you have, you're going to have to create these globals for each individual topic. And as a matter of fact, back in part 1, there were 2 text globals I haven't even talked about yet. It was one referring to the ID, the specific ID for our wall, as well as getting the wall image, because we want to get a bigger resolution, a larger resolution for our wallpaper image. So there's 2 globals I haven't even talked about creating. So if we think about it, we're going to have a URL 0, ID 0, thumb 0, and then we're going to have 2 additional text globals that will help us build our wallpaper. We need 2 additional globals, one to get the ID for that specific one that we tap on, and another global to actually get the higher resolution image. And then when you want to add your 2nd topic and your 3rd topic, you will have to recreate these globals, and we would call it URL 1, ID 1, thumb 1, etc. And that's what we're going to discuss in part 3. But I want to go ahead and get it set up where we do have the gallery here. You could add another row here if you wanted. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's go to items. Go to that 0 overlap group, go to the stat group that has all of these rows in it, and I can simply copy and paste and just give it a second and it's going to load 5 new images. That's pretty quick. And actually if I scroll down, you can see these same ones. I'm actually getting some down here. So that one there is that thumbnail right there. We're getting 20 images here and they load pretty quick, again, because of that low resolution for our thumbnail. And there you have it, part 2 of the Unsplash series. In part 3, I'll go ahead and show you how to incorporate the wallpaper piece, where we create those 2 new globals so that we can tap on one of these images and then it will download a higher resolution for that image and apply it to your wallpaper. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. And if you have a question, leave a comment below. And that's it for this video. I hope it helped.